Your pet would like to have a word with you. In fact, your dog, cat, bird, horse, fish, even bearded dragon would like to have an entire conversation with you. But having that trans-species discussion is difficult without an interpreter, or go-between, a specifically skilled individual who's been communicating with our animal friends for more than 3 decades, bridging gaps in understanding, elevating relationships, building peace and harmony among all Earth's creatures. That person is Suzan Vaughn, the Animal Whisperer.
In this episode, a poodle's perspective. Elroy is a standard poodle who lives in an active home filled with children. This blonde dog has just been groomed, so his human mom asked me how he liked his haircut. He said it was just a little shorter than he would choose and voted for a mid-length haircut. That's not the reason Margot called me, though. There was lots of action in this busy household, making Elroy very vocal. He barked incessantly, and sometimes it even woke up the baby. Margot asked for my help communicating with Elroy about the over-the-top barking situation.
We have a thing with barking. He's barking like crazy, and really, if we could come to some solution around the barking, I feel like he would be happier because everyone would be like a lot calmer, we'd be nicer to him, like he would be in trouble less. But I don't know what he needs. When anyone shows up or is outside or comes into the house, I mean, it's one thing when it's a new person, I kind of understand, although I wish I could like get him to calm down, but it's us and he just loses it and then he wakes the baby up.
Oh, my. Okay, let me tell him that. How old is the baby?
She's 1.5 years.
Okay. So let me tell him how important it is for the baby to get sleep. Just a moment. Okay. We need to be rewarding him when he's sleeping, calm, quiet, laying around in the bed. That needs to be where all the attention goes. Right now, a lot of attention goes to the bad behavior.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we definitely want to reward him, and that can just be with praise. It doesn't have to always be with food or treats, but just praise him when he's quiet, praise him when he's calm, praise him when he's, laying around in his bed, that kind of thing. So I'm telling him this kind of calm that we have right now, this is our favorite thing. And it's very, very important when the baby is sleeping for us to be sleeping or very, very quiet. So I'm letting him know that. And then we also want to just make sure he's rewarded at that time.
Okay. And you think that'll help with like all the barking or just when the nap time?
Yeah, because the barking is getting a lot of attention
Oh,
and the quiet isn't getting much.
right. True.
Mhm.
He loves attention. That's his thing.
Right. So you want to pet him or praise him or say good dog whenever he's real calm.
Okay. I can do
Like
that.
I told him, like right now, move your camera over to him a little bit. I don't have to be seeing him, but this is exactly what I'm asking him to do. I'm
Oh,
asking him to go to sleep, go as calm as you can, follow the energy that we're putting out right now, you and I. We're putting out the calmest, quietest, sleepiest energy. And this is a great time for animal communication too, because you really want them even sleeping. If they're snoring, it's perfect because
oh,
we're
really?
really talking to the subconscious anyway. And then this is the perfect time. So I'm praising him for being in this kind of state of mind, telling him this is exactly what we need, particularly when the baby's sleeping. And this is our favorite kind of energy right here.
Okay. Oh, so like when he's outside barking just at the wind, he just wants attention because we put him outside.
Well, he's barking at things that he smells, things that he hears, things that he knows are happening, underground animals, animals that you can't hear or that are far away. So he's interacting with it that way. But it's not that he's wanting necessarily attention. He's reacting to things that we can't see, feel, taste, smell, that kind of thing. But we're just putting a lot of our attention there.
Right. Okay.
The next issue on Margot's agenda was Elroy's elimination habits. She wanted him to relieve himself in a very particular area. She said they'd constructed a long kennel-like fenced area on the side of the house, but Elroy chose to eliminate waste all over the backyard. Because her 3 children played in the backyard, Margot wanted Elroy to confine his elimination habits to the kennel area. It was a lovely area, with grass and hedges along the fence, perfectly private for Elroy. I let him know this space was just for him, and just for that particular purpose, emphasizing that it was a great offering from his people. Margot promised to pump up the praise whenever he eliminated in the kennel area also.
Okay, this one's a little bit weirder. I'm pretty sure that Elroy and I had a past life together. Does he know about our past life?
Sure, let me ask. Yes, he surely does. He says he was a horse, and he says that you were sort of a princessy looking person. You had you were with a family that was a little better than middle class, I would say. This looks kind of middle ages. It looks like he was your companion. So in this incarnation, though, you really relied on him. You relied on him for transportation, companionship. It seems like the family was very disconnected with you. You spent more time with the horse, that looked a lot like him. It was a blonde horse like that. And so you were very, very close companions. And he represented your freedom, your independence, your best friend, your, everything. So that's the lifetime that's most relevant to the one you have now.
Cool. Does he like our baby?
I feel like there's a little confusion there. Like, am I supposed to protect? Am I supposed to be a companion? Am I supposed to, I don't know what I'm supposed to do exactly. So I feel a little confusion.
Yeah, you can tell he feels like that. But I mean, all those things.
All those things. Okay, let me tell him. You're supposed to be I usually tell dogs, with the child, what you're supposed to do, number one, is never defend yourself.
Yeah.
And so you walk away if you feel uncomfortable. So let me tell him that. And then I'm going to tell him, and you can be a companion to the child also. If the child pulls your hair or beats on you, you walk away. And you can also protect or keep the child out of the street or out of any danger, and protect from other people who may have bad intentions. Let me ask him, do you know the difference in the energy of a person with bad intentions and a person with good intentions? He says no, he has no idea. So let me tell him a little bit about discrimination. Okay, I'm telling you about being relaxed and friendly with people who come to visit. He says he does get there
He does. He's
after they're through the door.
so sweet at the end, but it's just such a strain and a stress. And he's scary because he's big and he's barking at people, and it's just like really a hassle.
Okay. Elroy's barking behavior when people visited was complicated by the 2 teenage boys in the house. Margot said he was well trained, but the youngsters untrained him when it came to that. She was hoping the communication would resolve Elroy's confusion about how he should act when company visited their home. For the kids, they wanted him to be rowdy and playful. But for the adults, they wanted him to be cool, calm, and collected.
Is there anything else that he wants me to know?
Let me see. He says he really wants to be a good domestic companion, and he wants to learn what the real way of doing it is. He wants to be good. He says that one of the things that he understands is that for each person in the household, they want him to act a different way. And it's a little bit confusing for him and a little bit hard for him to get his head around doing a different thing for each different person. So, but he really wants to be good, and he really wants to do the right thing. And he is wanting to, he's glad, he says, that he understands better about what he's supposed to do with the toddler. And he understands better about where you want him to go to the bathroom. I reminded him of all the things we talked about, sending good feelings about his very personal, private kennel outside. I reiterated how his people had constructed this area just for him, and how he was free to relieve himself with no trauma right there in the side yard. I showed him pictures of why the people didn't want their kids tracking his leavings into the house, and I told him we humans handled elimination completely different than dogs. It was a complicated situation and tough to get the entire household on board to steer Elroy to the side yard. In addition, I translated the message that it was important for Elroy to understand that the adults were the people he should be listening to as far as how to behave, not the kids. He wants to make it work. He wants to work it out.
It's so sweet. That's so sweet. Can you let him know that like Jacques and I are the boss and not the boys?
Yeah, sure. Just a moment.
He sleeps with them, so I think he gets a little confused.
Sure. Okay. So that was great. I wouldn't have thought of that. But anyway, he says, "Oh, so they're my playmates." Yes, absolutely. That's what they are. So he understood that very well. I said,
Great.
"Yeah, you listen to the adults and you play with the kids. That's perfect."
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
I said, "That's perfect. Yeah, they're playmates. They're not necessarily telling you how to behave. They're the playmates."
Right, right,
So
right.
he said, "Yeah."
Great. Okay, cool.
During a communication session with an animal, our furry friends are often very relaxed or even falling asleep. This is perfect for our direct communication with the subconscious. Margot had some interesting feedback about how Elroy acted while I was talking to him. He gazed at the heavens.
Great. Okay, cool. I mean, that's my list of questions.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
super.
That was really, really cool. Whenever you would, when he was here, he was, like whatever. And then when you would start like talking to him, he would just totally stop, almost no breath, and he would look up, and look up, which he does to me when he wants something, he'll look at me and then look at what he wants, look at what he wants. And he would just kept looking up. And it wasn't until you started talking to me again that he would start breathing and moving normal.
Yeah, it's fun to see how they react. The final communication was to let Elroy know that Margot would be traveling for work soon. The rest of the family would be following her to a foreign country, and he would stay with friends. Elroy said he already knew and loved the people we referred to. This smart canine felt very pleased being so well informed.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye now. While the crux of Elroy's problems were barking and pooping, Margot also asked about his preferred hairdo. She said she often put his head hair in ponytails. Elroy didn't like that kind of restriction of his hair, and he added that when he scratched his head, his paw pulled his hair. He said he preferred his body hair to be about an inch long, which was different from his visible close cut. So it was a thumbs down to ponytails and a request for a bit longer body hair. This wonderfully smart standard poodle was a joy to talk to. He felt so much better with clarity on how he was supposed to behave. And he was all set to be a brilliant canine companion to a family that loved him to the moon and back.
For more episodes in the series, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. To learn all about Suzan Vaughn and her services, visit our website at animalwhisperer.net. Be part of the community by subscribing to our Facebook page, animalwhisperer.net. Then sign up for Suzan's newsletter to enjoy more of her fascinating animal-human communication stories. So, until next time, join Suzan as she talks to the animals on The Animal Whisperer.